Back in the dawn of time, I went to business school, Chicago Booth, before it was called Booth. So now you roughly know how old I am. And there was a book that was assigned to us in a strategy and operations class called The Goal. Now, if you know anyone roughly who went to business school, anywhere from the late 80s to like the late 90s, probably came across the book. And it was written about a guy, it was written as a novel about a guy who had to turn around this printing plant in the Midwest, maybe even St. Louis, who knows? And he had no idea how to do it. And he ends up running into this high priced consultant on the airplane who kind of talks him through and ends up becoming his mentor. And all the challenges that he goes through are written as like parts of a novel. So for finding the constraint that's the bottleneck on his process, it actually talks about him taking his son on a Boy Scout trip. And there's one kid named Herbie who's slowing everybody down. People today, by the way, if you tell anyone like, what's the Herbie, you'll know if they've read the book. People remember it. And I was always struck by, wow, this is not like all the other textbooks. I can't remember any other textbooks. And this wasn't awesome writing, but it was far more memorable. And it was a far more effective way to get the information across. I mean, you guys, do you remember any of your textbooks from undergrad or business school if you went, or law school? No, not a one.
Not
I think I
really.
also remember Zen and the Art of
Oh,
Archery. That's about
But
it.
I do
yeah.
remember a lot of the ones that were like books that I read, they're allegorical. I think there's one by the Arbinger Institute about
Mm.
being in the box that I remember that had that kind of storyline. So those ones are much more memorable for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, now it's 30 years later. Is it 30 years? Shit. Yeah. It's like decades later, and I still remember it. So I always wanted, ever since about 10 years ago, as I'd started doing my angel investing and I'd started working with a lot of companies in the accelerator format that Dream It was when I first started there, like I said, I really want to write the goal, but for
Yeah.
startups. So it's something that had always been on my mind to do, but I was always 120% doing one thing. And then after COVID, I ended up, for a variety of reasons, leaving Dream It. And I'm doing 6 or 7 different things. And it's not like any one of those things or the total of them are any less time, but it occurred to me that if I don't write this book now, I'm never going to do it.
Hmm.
I sat down, I'm like, okay, I know what I want to write about. It's basically the outline of what I want to write about is all the curriculum and material that we developed for the first iteration of Dream It, for all our startups. That's great,
Yeah.
but I need to prove to myself I could do 3 things. So number one, I actually had to tell them his stories. I didn't want it to
Hmm.
be like two guys sitting around their deck at a WeWork coffee table and try to. It had to be like spaced in actual action, for lack of a better word. And like for example, I have the conversation between the founder and his son. He's taking his son to school on the subway, and he kind of says in passing, "Isn't it cool that we, for the same $2.90, we can go 4 stops on the subway if we go all the way out to Coney Island?" And his son's like, "That sucks, Dad. You should pay for how many stops you go. If I owned the railroad, I'd make tons of money." And that morphs into a discussion of revenue models.
Download The Entrepreneur's Odyssey by Andrew Ackerman today. Scan the QR code on the screen. This clip is brought to you by Fidelity Private Shares, the all-in-one equity management platform built for startups. Fundraising? Download our ebook, The Irresistible Startup, for tips and tricks from our VC friends and guests. Find the link below.
To watch or listen to your favorite episodes of the podcast, go to dwavc.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.